8 hours in bed. Then the alarm rings, and your eyes already feel bruised. Your hand finds the phone before your feet find the floor, and one question returns. How can a full night leave me this tired? The Buddhist answer is not to sleep less. It is to examine 7 gates around sleep: time, the senses, food, conscience, emotion, the body, and your response to being awake. By the end, you will know which gate is breaking your night and one practice to try tonight. The first corrects the most dangerous myth of all, that discipline means stealing time from sleep. Before practice 1, keep one boundary clear. Buddhist training is not a license to cut sleep until the body surrenders. Early texts describe monks guarding the senses, eating in moderation, lying down mindfully, and keeping the time for rising in mind. Those instructions train awareness. They do not prove that every modern person can thrive on a short night. Most adults need at least 7 hours of sleep, and some need more. A routine cannot repay chronic sleep debt. If you have been restricting sleep to prove discipline, productivity, or spiritual strength, the first correction is to stop damaging the conditions that clear awareness depends on. Practice 1. Protect a full sleep window. Many tired mornings begin the night before with an alarm set by ambition. You choose the earliest time you wish you could wake, then bargain bedtime downward. One more episode, one more email, one more scroll. By midnight, sleep receives whatever scraps the day did not consume. Reverse the calculation. Choose a wake time your life can realistically support. Count backward far enough for the amount of sleep you actually need, then add the time it takes you to wind down. If you rise at 7 and function best with 8 hours, you need an 11 o'clock sleep opportunity, not an 11 o'clock reminder to start closing the laptop. Put 2 boundaries on the evening: the time the day begins to close and the time the lights go out. Protect them as seriously as a meeting. Keep the schedule reasonably steady, but do not turn regularity into another purity test. A sick child, a late shift, or one difficult night can disrupt the plan. Return to the anchor without declaring the week ruined. Shift workers can use the same principle inside the life they actually have. Protect the most stable block available. Control light and noise around that block where possible. The aim is not to imitate somebody else's sunrise routine. It is to stop treating your own sleep as expendable. Tonight, decide those 2 times. You have made room for sleep. The next gate decides what enters that room. Practice 2. Close the gates of the senses. Picture the bedroom at 10:45. The body is under the blanket, but an entire crowd is still entering through one small screen: a headline, a colleague, an advertisement, a stranger's perfect life, a message that feels impossible to leave unanswered. The phone goes dark, yet the procession continues in the mind. Sense restraint is a recurring Buddhist training. It does not mean hiding from the world. It means noticing what you admit through the eyes, ears, and mind, and recognizing that impressions have an afterlife. A modern sleep adaptation is simple. Create a 30-minute sensory gate before bed. Park the phone beyond arm's reach. Lower the lights. Stop news, work, shopping, and emotionally charged exchanges. If the phone is your alarm, set it once, block alerts, and place it where you must stand to reach it. Choose one low stimulation action. Wash, stretch gently, read a few quiet pages, or prepare the room. Silence is not mandatory. Familiar quiet audio may help if it does not keep inviting choices. The gate is not a performance of austerity. It is a reduction in novelty and reaction. Now imagine a provocative message arriving just before bed. The old habit opens it, drafts 3 replies, checks whether the sender is online, and carries the argument under the blanket. The gate says, "This deserves tomorrow's judgment, not tonight's reflex." Write 1 line so you will not forget, then close the device. Less input gives the mind less to process, but the body can still be working on something consumed too late. Practice 3. Eat for steadiness, not heaviness. It is 1 in the morning. You are awake with burning in your throat after a huge late dinner. The meal ended hours ago, but the body is still dealing with the consequences. This is where moderation becomes more useful than a rigid food rule. In early Buddhist training, food is approached with reflection and moderation, enough to support the body without creating needless discomfort. A layperson does not need to copy a monastery's meal schedule or go to bed hungry. The practical question is narrower. What will this choice do to the body I am about to ask to rest? Large, late meals can make sleep harder, especially when they bring reflux, heat, bloating, or repeated waking. Caffeine late in the day interferes with sleep for many people. Alcohol may make you drowsy at first, while leaving sleep lighter and more interrupted later. Tonight, aim to finish dinner early enough that you feel comfortable by bedtime. Stop at satisfied rather than stuffed. If genuine hunger would keep you awake, choose a small, familiar snack that agrees with you. Medical needs outrank generic rules. If spicy takeout at 9 is repeatedly followed by reflux at 1, change one variable. Move it earlier, reduce the portion, or choose something gentler. Observe several nights. The lesson is measured by comfort and sleep, not by purity. A settled stomach removes one form of agitation. It does not settle the sentence you wish you had never spoken. Practice 4. Use the mirror of the day. The Buddha once asked his son Rahula what a mirror is for. The answer was reflection. He then taught him to examine actions of body, speech, and mind for harm. A bedtime review can borrow that structure without becoming a courtroom. Ask 3 questions. Where did I cause harm today? What did I do that was skillful or kind? What repair belongs to tomorrow? Keep the review brief. Name the fact, choose one next action, and stop. Rumination repeats a scene to punish you. Reflection extracts instruction from it. Suppose you spoke over Maya in a meeting and spent the evening defending yourself internally. One sentence is enough. I interrupted Maya. Tomorrow I will acknowledge it and give her the floor. The mind no longer has to rehearse the incident as an alarm. Guilt has become responsibility. The deepest version of this struggle appears after loss. Imagine a son awake after his father's funeral, replaying the call he did not return. No sleep practice should tell him that grief is a mistake. The mirror asks something smaller and more humane. Is there a living person I can call tomorrow? Is there an apology or act of care still possible? If nothing can be repaired tonight, can sorrow remain sorrow without becoming a trial that lasts until dawn? This does not solve bereavement. It separates love and pain from self-punishment. Some nights, the honest review ends with one line: nothing can be repaired tonight. I will ask for support tomorrow. Remember the good as well. A kept promise and a small act of care belong in the mirror. If the exercise feeds obsessive guilt, stop writing and seek qualified help. A Buddhist practice should clarify responsibility, not become a compulsion. You can repair your side of the day. You cannot control every person in it. Resentment is the next gate. Practice 5. End with loving kindness. An early Buddhist discourse traditionally lists sleeping easily, waking easily, and having fewer frightening dreams among the benefits of well-developed loving kindness. That is a traditional claim, not a medical guarantee. The practice remains concrete. Choose what kind of intention receives the final minutes of attention. Loving kindness is not positive thinking pasted over pain. It is rehearsal for non-harm at the time when resentment usually gets the stage to itself. Begin with someone for whom warmth comes naturally. Silently say, "May you be safe. May you be at ease. May you meet tomorrow with strength." Then offer the same wishes to yourself. If the words feel sincere, include a neutral person: the driver who delivered a parcel, the cleaner in your building, someone you noticed but never really saw. A difficult person comes last, if at all. Do not use loving kindness to excuse abuse, erase boundaries, or force forgiveness. On a hard night, it is enough to wish that you and all beings be free from the confusion that produces harm. Compare two endings to the same day. In one, you replay an insult for 20 minutes and let the offender occupy the last clear space in your mind. In the other, you offer goodwill to a trusted friend and then to yourself. The event has not changed. The mind has stopped feeding on threat as its final meal. When the phrases fade, check the jaw and shoulders. A gentle intention can still live inside a braced body. Practice 6. Lie down with a clear body and a clear intention. Early texts describe the lion posture, lying on the right side, one foot resting on the other, mindful and alert, with the time for rising kept in mind. This is a traditional discipline, not proof that the right side is medically best for everyone. Use that posture only if it is comfortable and safe. Pregnancy, reflux, shoulder pain, breathing problems, disability, or clinical advice may call for another position. Mindfulness can accompany any posture. Once settled, let the breath remain ordinary. Feel where the body meets the mattress. With each unforced exhalation, soften one area: forehead, jaw, shoulders, hands, abdomen, legs. Do not try to manufacture unconsciousness. Give up work that the body no longer needs to do. Set the alarm before you begin, then state one simple intention. When morning comes, I will rise without bargaining with the clock. Return to contact, breath, and release. If counting breaths makes you monitor sleep or chase a perfect score, stop counting. Repeated this way, bed can become a cue for stillness rather than a place for work, scrolling, and negotiation. But no posture and no ritual can command sleep. The final practice is for the night that refuses your plan. Practice 7. Do not fire the second arrow. In the Buddhist teaching of the two arrows, the first arrow is an unpleasant feeling. The second is the extra suffering built from resistance, panic, and attachment. On a wakeful night, the first arrow is simple: I am awake. The second arrives as a verdict: tomorrow is ruined. I must sleep now. Something is wrong with me. That second layer raises urgency. At the moment, sleep needs less effort. Dropping it does not mean enjoying insomnia or pretending that tomorrow has no consequences. It means refusing to turn one difficult moment into a judgment about the whole night or your whole life. Name only what is present: awake, tight chest, planning thought, anger. Leave the clock alone. Soften the attempt to force sleep. If you are clearly awake and frustrated, get out of bed when it is safe. Sit somewhere dim and do something quiet. Return when sleepiness comes back. That protects the association between bed and sleep. Imagine waking after an unknown stretch of rest. One path checks the time, searches symptoms, and begins tomorrow's disaster at 2 in the morning. The other leaves the phone untouched, notices disappointment, loosens the hands, and chooses the next wise action. Sleep may return quickly or slowly. Either way, you have not added a second wound. If this happens repeatedly for months, ask a clinician about cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, often called CBTI. It is a first-line treatment for long-term insomnia and includes more than acceptance alone. Now return to the question from the alarm: how can a long night leave you tired? Sometimes the answer is not one dramatic mistake, but a broken gate, too little time, too much input, a body made uncomfortable by what it consumed, a conscience without a repair, a mind rehearsing threat, a body still braced, or panic added to wakefulness. The 7 practices form one path, but each can stand alone. Give sleep enough time, reduce sensory input, eat for comfort rather than heaviness. Review conduct and assign one repair. Cultivate goodwill. Lie down with embodied awareness. Meet unwanted wakefulness without panic. Test one gate for 7 nights. Keep a simple note of bedtime, wake time, major awakenings, and daytime energy. Change one variable if you want to learn what helps, and do not turn the record into another judge. Keep one final boundary clear. Persistent exhaustion is not always a habit problem. If fatigue lasts for weeks, disrupts daily life, or comes with loud snoring, gasping, morning headaches, irresistible daytime sleepiness, restless legs, or major mood changes, speak with a clinician. Sleep apnea and other medical or mental health conditions need assessment. Buddhist practice can train your relationship to the night. It cannot diagnose the reason you are tired. Before you leave, choose the gate where your night most often breaks down. Comment with a number and one small action: 1 for enough time, 2 for fewer inputs, 3 for evening food, 4 for repair, 5 for loving kindness, 6 for releasing the body, or 7 for dropping the second arrow. Then test only that action for 7 nights. Phone outside the bed is clearer than be more disciplined. 1 repair for tomorrow is more useful than stop overthinking. If someone you care about keeps waking tired, share this as an experiment, not a cure. And in the next video, I'll turn these 7 principles into one realistic 15-minute evening sequence for nights when you have almost no time. Tonight, protect the hours you need, then let the day end before you ask sleep to begin.